Memory is much more than a recording of the past. It is the architecture that shapes our identity, our personality, and even our future choices. Every moment you experience leaves a subtle trace inside your brain. And the story of memory begins with a single spark. A neuron firing. At the smallest level, memories start with the neuron, a tiny cell that communicates through electrical and chemical signals. Your brain contains nearly 86 billion neurons, each reaching out with delicate branches called dendrites and long cables called axons, forming trillions of connections. Every experience you have, the sound of footsteps, the scent of rain, the color of passing lights, enters the brain through the senses. These signals travel at remarkable speed toward the deeper structures of the mind. And at the heart of memory creation lies a structure called the hippocampus. Shaped like a seahorse, it acts as the brain's master architect, assembling fragments of sensory information into something meaningful. When you meet a new person, the brain doesn't store a single photograph. Instead, it encodes separate pieces. The sound of their voice, the shape of their face, the emotion you felt, the setting you were in. The hippocampus binds these elements into a unified experience. This process relies on something extraordinary: synaptic plasticity, the ability of the brain's connections to strengthen, weaken, grow, or reorganize. When a moment feels important, emotional, or surprising, the neurons fire in a specific pattern, and the connections between them begin to change. Chemicals called neurotransmitters carry the message between neurons. Dopamine signals importance. Serotonin signals emotional tone. And glutamate helps lock in the memory trace. The stronger and more emotional an experience is, the more powerful the neural imprint becomes. A memory of joy, a moment of fear, a sudden realization. These emotional charges make memories vivid and lasting. A simple, ordinary moment may fade quickly, but a life-changing moment can shape who you become. The hippocampus does not store memories permanently. Instead, it acts like a construction site, stabilizing new memories just long enough for them to be transferred to long-term storage. When you repeat something, a fact, a movement, a name, the neural circuits fire again and again. And with each repetition, the wiring strengthens. This is why practice builds skill. Your brain physically changes, synapses grow, connections multiply, pathways become smooth, efficient, and reliable. At this stage, memories remain fragile. They can still shift, break apart, or fade. But if the experience is meaningful or repeated, the brain begins preparing it for long-term storage. And one of the most powerful tools for this process is sleep. While you sleep, your brain organizes the day's events. Neural pathways replay experiences like tiny echoes. The hippocampus carefully transfers memories into the cortex, the vast outer layer of the brain, where long-term memories live. Once stored, memories become distributed networks of patterns, not located in one spot, but spread across many regions. Some parts store emotions, some store images, some store sounds, some store meaning. The architecture of memory is a universe of connections, a galaxy of electric patterns shaping the story of who you are. In the next chapter, we will explore how memories evolve, how they shift, strengthen, or fade over time. This is not just the story of how we remember, but the story of how we become. In the first part of our journey, we explored how the brain forms new memories. Now, we step deeper into the architecture of the mind, into the mysterious process of how memories are stored, shaped, and strengthened over time. A memory does not stay where it is first created. It begins fragile, delicate, easily lost, but with time, repetition, and emotional significance, the brain transforms these fragile traces into long-lasting patterns. This process, The journey of a memory from short-term to long-term storage is one of the brain's most remarkable achievements. The earliest form of memory is known as short-term memory. It can hold only a small amount of information, a phone number, a sentence, a face, and only for a few seconds. Most of these impressions disappear as quickly as they came, but every now and then, something happens. Something catches your attention, or stirs your emotions, or repeats enough times that the brain decides, this matters. And that is when the memory begins its transformation. This transformation is guided by a concept called synaptic plasticity, the ability of connections between neurons to grow stronger through use. Imagine a path in a forest. The more you walk it, the clearer and more permanent it becomes. When you practice something, a movement, a phrase, an idea, you are literally reshaping your brain. Neurons that fire together begin to wire together. Synapses widen, signals move more easily, and the memory grows stronger. But repetition is not the only architect of memory. Emotion is an even greater sculptor. Moments filled with joy, fear, grief, love, or surprise are encoded far more powerfully. This is because emotional memories involve not just the hippocampus, but also the amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure responsible for emotional intensity. Together, they create memories that feel unforgettable. As time passes, a remarkable process called consolidation begins. The hippocampus repeatedly replays the neural pattern of the memory, strengthening it, stabilizing it, and preparing it for long-term storage. And one of the most powerful tools for consolidation is sleep. During deep sleep, the brain revisits the day's experiences. Like a librarian sorting books, the brain reviews your memories, reinforcing some, fading others, and placing the most important ones into long-term storage. This is why dreams often reflect fragments of the day. Bits of emotion, scenery, faces, and thoughts interwoven. Your brain is not merely resting. It is sculpting the architecture of your memory. Once a memory moves into long-term storage, it becomes distributed across the cortex, the brain's vast outer layer responsible for thinking, language, movement, and perception. Long-term memories are not stored in a single location. They are stored as a pattern, a constellation, spread across multiple areas of the mind. This is why a single memory can contain sound, smell, images, and emotion all at once. Each element lives in a different part of the brain, yet they come together seamlessly when recalled. When you remember something, you are not playing a recording. You are reconstructing a moment. Memory is an act of creation, and like all creations, memories evolve. They shift with time. They blend with new experiences, and sometimes they change without us noticing. This constant reshaping does not mean our memories are unreliable. It means they are alive, growing as we grow, reflecting who we are in each chapter of life. The truth is this: memory is not simply the past stored away. It is a living structure, always rewriting itself as the brain learns, heals, adapts, and transforms. In the final part of our journey, we will uncover the last mystery: how the mind retrieves memories, how it searches, reconstructs, and sometimes distorts the past. The story of memory continues. Memories shape who we are, but what happens in the moment we remember? How does the brain reach back into its vast archive and reconstruct a moment from years or even decades ago? The act of remembering begins with a spark, a smell, a sound, a photograph, a feeling. And suddenly, the brain begins a remarkable search. The search for a memory is led by the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for attention, planning, and decision-making. It functions like a conductor, cueing different neural sections to activate. Memories do not live in a single place. They exist as scattered pieces, images in one region, sounds in another, Emotions in yet another. When you try to recall something, the brain begins to gather these fragments. Memory retrieval is not playback. It is reconstruction, an active process where the brain rebuilds the moment. Piece by piece, the mind pulls together sensory traces, emotional tones, and contextual clues, weaving them into a coherent experience. A familiar scent may awaken a long-forgotten childhood moment. A melody may reopen a memory sealed by time. This is because sensory cortices, sight, sound, smell, store parts of memory, and the brain reactivates these same regions during recall. When a memory carries emotional weight, the amygdala intensifies recall, making the memory feel vivid, alive, and immediate. But even the most vivid memory is not a perfect copy, because each time we remember, we are not retrieving the original moment. We are retrieving the last version we reconstructed. And so, over years, memories change. Small details fade. New interpretations take shape. And the memory evolves with us. Research shows that imagination and memory share many of the same brain circuits. This is why imagination can influence memory, not through deception, but through the creative nature of the brain itself. Sometimes different fragments clash, and the brain must choose which version feels most coherent. This is why two people may remember the same event differently. These differences do not mean memory is unreliable. They mean memory is human, a living process shaped by meaning, emotion, and growth. The memories that return most easily are those woven with emotion, repetition, and significance. But some memories require deeper searching. When the brain struggles to recall a moment, it explores neighboring networks, digging through associated concepts, similar events, familiar faces, until suddenly, the correct pattern emerges. This moment, that sudden spark of recognition, is the memory being reconstructed into conscious awareness. Some memories return incomplete. Others return unexpectedly. This depends on how strongly they were encoded, how often they were revisited, and how much emotional weight they carry. Stress can make memories harder to retrieve. So can trauma, distraction, aging, or emotional overload. The brain may block or protect certain memories, not as a flaw, but as a survival mechanism. But positive memories, moments of joy, connection, discovery, often return quickly, lighting up the brain with warmth. Memory is not simply the past kept alive. It is how we stay connected to the people we love, the experiences that shaped us, and the stories that define who we are. The architecture of memory mirrors the architecture of the universe itself. Vast, interconnected, endlessly evolving. And this is the art of recall, a process both fragile and powerful, scientific and deeply human. To remember is to relive. To relive is to understand. And through memory, we continue becoming ourselves. In the first 3 parts of our extensive journey, we meticulously explored the intricate processes of how memories are initially formed, carefully stored within our neural networks, and subsequently retrieved from the vast archives of our minds. However, memory is profoundly more than just a biological function. It transcends mere neurological activity. It stands as the fundamental foundation of our identity, serving as the intricate structure upon which every personal belief, every profound emotion, and every significant decision we make ultimately rests. Every unique experience you have ever lived, every valuable lesson you have diligently learned, and every individual who has profoundly touched your life. All of these elements collectively shape the deeply personal and evolving story you tell about who you truly are. And remarkably, the human brain does not store identity in a single isolated location. It is not a static file in one specific region. Instead, identity dynamically emerges from the intricate and continuous interaction of memory, meaning, and emotion, all seamlessly woven together into a cohesive whole. To truly understand the profound ways in which our memories meticulously create and continually shape our identity, we must carefully examine three major, interconnected dimensions of the mind. These crucial dimensions are autobiographical memory, which forms our personal history; emotional memory, which imbues our experiences with feeling; and meaning-making, which interprets and contextualizes our world. Autobiographical memory serves as your internal timeline, a rich and detailed narrative composed of important life events, meticulously woven together from thousands of individual moments and experiences. While you may not recall every minute detail of these past events, you invariably remember the profound meaning and significance they held for you. These deeply personal memories reside across wide and interconnected regions of the cerebral cortex, seamlessly connected and coordinated through the vital role of the hippocampus. This intricate network effectively forms a dynamic and ever-evolving map of your entire life's journey, constantly being updated and refined. Emotional memory adds crucial depth and resonance to our identity, anchoring it firmly in feeling and visceral experience. Consider a moment of profound heartbreak, a triumph you have never forgotten, or a vital lesson learned through significant struggle. These powerful memories are significantly strengthened and imbued with lasting impact by the activity of the amygdala, and they anchor our identity deeply in feeling. And then there is meaning, the most uniquely human and profoundly interpretive dimension of memory, shaping how we understand our experiences. Meaning emerges when the prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive center, actively interprets and contextualizes our experiences. Two different people can live through the exact same moment, yet remember it quite differently, because meaning reshapes memory with each reflection and interpretation. This is precisely why your past does not remain static or fixed. Your memories are not immutable records. Instead, your memories continuously evolve and adapt as you yourself evolve and grow as an individual. Your younger self and your older self remember past events differently, not because the original memory itself fundamentally changed, but because you, the observer, have changed. And identity is profoundly built upon this constant reorganization and dynamic adaptation of our neural pathways. The brain actively rewires itself based on every new experience, every fresh insight, every moment of pain, and every instance of joy. When we successfully overcome significant hardship, the memory of that struggle is profoundly transformed into a powerful memory of strength and resilience. Similarly, when we heal from deep pain, the memory of suffering can evolve into a profound memory of enduring resilience and personal growth. This transformative process occurs because memory is not merely a static record of the past. It is, more accurately, the dynamic meaning we actively give to the past. Even deeply emotional memories, once thought to be unchangeable, can be rewritten and reinterpreted over time. They are not erased, but rather reframed and understood in a new light. Because every single time a memory is recalled, the brain is presented with a unique chance to reshape and update it. This remarkable ability to reinterpret and reframe our memories is undoubtedly one of the brain's most powerful and adaptive gifts. It empowers us to continuously grow, to evolve, and to update the ongoing story of who we are and who we are becoming. New experiences consistently create new memories, and these new memories, in turn, profoundly reshape our identity. Neuroscientists refer to this incredible capacity as neuroplasticity, highlighting the brain's inherent flexibility and adaptability. But in more human terms, it is simply the profound capacity to reinvent oneself, to continuously adapt and grow throughout life. Our relationships also play a crucial and often underestimated role in shaping our identity. The people we deeply love, the communities we choose to join, and the stories we openly share with others all leave deep and lasting imprints on our minds. The brain contains specialized mirror neurons, remarkable cells that enable us to feel and understand the emotions of others, as if they were our own. These mirror neurons are instrumental in creating social memory, the collective memories that intricately connect us to other human beings, and foster a sense of belonging. Through these profound connections, our individual identity becomes much more than a mere personal archive of experiences. It transforms into a rich, shared story, woven from the threads of countless interactions and collective experiences. At the deepest and most fundamental level, memory is not just a passive record of what has happened in the past. It is, in essence, the dynamic and ever-evolving architecture of who we are continuously becoming, shaping our future selves. And so, the profound and intricate story of memory and identity continues to unfold, a journey without end. Every single experience leaves an indelible trace upon our minds, contributing to our unique narrative. Every reflection we undertake reshapes that trace, refining and updating our understanding of ourselves. And every memory, whether it is joyful,